Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another brand new day. It is Saturday, and boy, my view counts keep falling. For a while, a few months back, I was starting to get 400 views per video, sometimes 500 views on a video. I'm back to, if I hit 200, I'm doing good. Life is life, isn't it? Such is. Bunch of things on my topics list, not really a whole lot to say though. Past couple nights been suffering from horrific insomnia from heat-related insomnia, along with just pain-related insomnia. Part of the issue is my room. It has two windows, but they don't have actual storm windows or actual windows. So what they did is on the outside of the house, they plastered sheets of plastic over the window. So there's no real airflow in my bedroom. It's just hot. Even with the windows open, there's just a tiny seeping. But there's screens up and such. To move the screens, they go outward, but they can't go outward because the plastic's there. So I'd have to really work and such to get the screen to move so I could cut the plastic. And then that would ruin the point of the plastic because that's the insulation during the winter. So I don't know what to do. I don't want to piss off the rental company. So we shall see. But it's been fun. Life is life. Went on walkies last night, of course. And something happened that it amused me because it was, well, not amusing. It was like a how about that sort of thing. I was coming home. And I was walking along, and 30 feet away from where I was, underneath a street light, there was a little, carpenter ant. It's carpenter ant, or whatever type of ant it is, season right now. So they're flying everywhere, and you've got them with their wings, and every time you turn around, there's another one flying around. Well, this time, as I'm coming up, I stayed about 30 feet away. I see it flitter through the light. The street light, and then I keep walking along, and then because I am courteous, I stopped. Because who would have thought? Go back 2 hours ago with me sitting in my room and preparing to go out on walkies, and who knows what that bug would have been doing at that time. But who would have thought that then 2 hours later I had to stop so that we didn't go bonk. I mean, it wouldn't have hurt me. It would have just been a bug bouncing off of me if I'd even have felt it. It wouldn't have really hurt the bug because those things that can fall huge distances, their size is such that their terminal velocity isn't terminal. So it bounces off, hits the ground, shakes its head and goes brr, 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 and then continues going. But it was just for that brief moment of time, for that brief sliver in the heartbeat of the universe, that tiny speck of protein and myself, we shared that space on this planet. And it felt nice. It was cool. Definitely a thumbs up. Now, other insect collisions out there, of course, I'm not so thrilled about because of the bug impacts that I can feel on my body. 90% of them are something trying to get into my eye or bouncing off my eyelashes as I'm walking along. I mean, I am constantly having to brush at my eyelashes to make sure there's nothing in my eye after I've impacted with things. They don't hit here, or here, they don't hit on my arms. No, it's my eye. And that really sucks. So thumbs up for that. But life is life. So, yes, weather report, plague report, spider report, plague report. Yeah, that works, but plague rat report. Boy, even fewer masks out than normal. I was watching an infographic show, because there's something called the Infographics channel, where they talk about this, that, or the other, and they talked about pandemics and epidemics and how they end throughout history. Very rarely do we have a medical end to an epidemic or pandemic. I mean, we've only just fairly recently gotten rid of stuff like smallpox and the like. They're gone, eradicated. They only exist in labs, in dishes. They're not out in the wild anymore. Those are the very few medical things that have happened. Normally what happens in human history is we get tired of dealing with epidemics or pandemics, and we call for a social end to it. Kind of like what's happening in the U.S. Only the pandemic ain't letting us do that. Would they call for a social end where it's just the rest of the world just says, okay, it's always going to be here. Life is life. And then precautions drop. Everybody just deals with it. It's like another thing. Even as it ravages other places, it's just we deal with it. I don't want a social end to this. Life. But at least some people are in stores anyway. Life is life. Spider report. The spider up there in the juncture betwixt ceiling and wall is still there. She's just a tiny thing. She looks big from my distance. When I take this morning to show somebody on Twitter, I took my webcam, turned it up, and took a picture of the spider even on Zoom. But even on that, it's just such a tiny little thing. In the pictures, it's so hard to see. But looking at the critter right up there now, it looks pretty big. Which is it really? Perception versus reality. But she's doing well. I hope she does well. I mean, continues doing well. That would be a good thing. I wish everything well. I mean, there's still the spiders over in the window, some of them. And then there was the spiders outside, still doing well for spiders. The bathroom spider, it's traveled. Who knows what's happened? Life is life. What else do I have on my list? Gosh, golly gee whiz. Actually, there's just two things that I really have on my list now. One of them is a story-related thing, because I come up with more thoughts on it. And another is a game I've been playing. So I'm going to talk about the story first. I've got an idea, because I have to flesh things out in my head to really explore the concepts. And right now, there is a creature of power that is having an existential crisis, and someone of our level, is saying, please don't kill me, because it's doing lots of bad things on our world. And so the thing spends time explaining. Now remember, in my cosmic horror stuff, which is just a framework for everything, there's Gokura, us, everywhere, we're everywhere. And then you go up above it, there's Gokire, and they have some more power, and there's a ton of those everywhere, relatively a ton of those. There's an infinite amount of universes, so there's an infinite amount of them, but relatively speaking. Then you have the Gekiri, of which there's a smaller amount and they have more power. The Gekiru, a handful of these beings, and then the Ang-Gekira, the most powerful, with a whole bunch of extremely negative connotations to that. And in our multiverse, our Unga, that is Amaterasu, with her 12 children underneath her, the Ang-Gekira. Now, if I can remember on that one, yes, because universes and our universe and all this calve and split at every moment of every interaction, from the tiniest little quantum interaction, from the quarks that make up the particles, that make up the atoms, that make up the molecules, that make up the organelles, that make up our cells, that make up our organs, that make up our bodies, then up to our minds. Every single interaction on that scale, if there is an option, the universe is split. Now, this is actually based on real-world science that we're dealing with. I'm not a mathematician, I'm not a scientist, so it is just my interpretation thereof. And so, in the multiverse, our multiverse, there is no such thing as free will, per se. And this is what this one Gekiri is going through, because when you're Gokura, when you're Gekire, when you're Gekiri, And you don't have free will. Every decision you make is just variation number 8,456 of that action on variation 8,428 on variation 8,368 of that universe. So there's variations of the universe, variations of you, variations of your reaction. And if it can happen, it does happen. There are an infinite amount of universes where everything is happening. There is no free will because of that. Every choice you make is not just a choice you've made. No. Because every other choice you could have made has been made. This is just your turn to make this action. Because everybody else has done it on every other variation. It's just your turn to get this variation done. And so that's kind of rough. But in this universe, in this story context, as you gain in power, if you're born into power in this state, then that's one thing. But in this context of the stories, you can gain power through just knowledge and then adding on to that, gaining relics, finding things, becoming powerful. You can become from Gokura, without number, prey, to a Gekira. You're still splitting and spawning, though. You have no real free will. But if you become powerful enough, or you're like the Ang-Gekira or the Gekira, you can enter a state of Makterak. You no longer spawn. You are singular from that point on. Every version of you up to that point still exists, but from that point on, there's just you. And you are free. Every action you make is now yours. It's not just a variation of an action on a variation of you in a variation of the universe. There are no others. There's just you. And every choice you make is yours. And everybody of power who starts off lower and then realizes that works for that. Because while it's terrifying, if you die, that's it. There are no more variations of you. It's also freeing because you're free. You are making decisions. And so that's what creatures and beings of power deal with on an existential basis in here. And of course, I flip-flop between calling them universes and but a universe is just whatever we can see with our eyes and our senses. And is everything that's part of the universe, but not a part of. There's aneurysms and digging in areas that have other forms of and reflections of reality. There are shadows, there are shards, there is a biosphere that surrounds each universe. And that is, the entirety is known as the And so when I talk about a universe, I'm just talking about the stuff that we interact with and see. When I try to mention that's the universe and the surrounding biosphere around it. Yes, and is about 90% universe. But it's also that 10% other, and that other is kind of important. After all, in our human bodies, our cells that make up us, of all the cells that are in our bodies, only about 1 in 10 are ours. The rest of them are the stuff that's living in us and on us, that if we didn't have them, we'd die. They're a symbiotic part of us, but they're not us. Same thing, except not a symbiotic or parasitic, just a natural part of its biosphere. Thumbs up. Tomorrow, I'm going to hopefully talk about this one game I've been playing called Outward, because right now I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment, or however many there are. There aren't that many, so we shall see. I'm not reading the comments right now, just thanking you for having left a comment. I'm going to go through later, thumbs up, and read as many as I can and answer as many as possible on the comments. Definitely a thumbs up that way. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, who knows, with my depression, fibro, and more, I do my best. Oh, excuse me. That carbon dioxide from my carbonated beverages. I have to keep glancing over that way because my monitor for my PS4 camera off my PS4 is off to there. So to make sure I'm centered and such, I have to look off that way. My apologies. We have Papa TV Reactions, thumbs up, and Scoob4, thumbs up and thank you. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Santino Michelli, I'm nowhere close, but thank you. We have Marv Hartigan, greatly appreciated. Colin Reisner, good to see you. We have Yogeshwaran, I am very, very sorry. My sincere... What is that word? So, I have a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy. I'm very sorry. Take care and thank you. Made in Canada, greatly appreciated. And Chris, good to see you in the comments. And then we have Bua Kamoli, I'm mispronouncing that badly, but thank you much. And Saul Bentley, greatly appreciated. Samuel Martinez, thumbs up. Tommy, greatly appreciated. Then we have Potatotron, good to see you in the comments. Christopher Thomas, thumbs up. Russian Timing, good to see you. And then we have Lucifer, greatly appreciated. Davy Crockett. And then we have Alex Flag, thumbs up and thank you. There is some guy named Jamie, greatly appreciated. G with an accent, thumbs up. And then we have Rajat Chandra. I'm nowhere close, but thank you much. And that's it. 22 comments on all my videos in the last 24 hours. Thank you all so very much. It is appreciated no matter what. Even if I only have 5 subscribers, 5 viewers, I'm still going to be making videos. So anybody that watches is appreciated. Anybody that leaves a comment is appreciated. Definitely a good thing. If you could check out my various links down below. I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. If you wanted to help me out but you didn't want to send money to one of those 2 places, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you wanted to help me out without sending money, I have an Amazon wish list link as well that I need to go through and make sure is updated. But it should have things like hamster food, hamster bedding, cat food, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be very awesome. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. Definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that. Oh, good Lord. Hit that bell. Oh, good Lord. Hit that bell. That's a little better. It's not a good one today. I'm sorry. That would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. Good God, I'm dying on my own phlegm. Anyway, though, I've got this video. I have a video I have to record, edit, and render, but it's a Saturday, so as long as it goes live at some point today, then it's a thumbs up. A good thing. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Practice self-care. Bad time all around the world. Practice your social distancing. Please be safe. Wear a mask. It's easy, it's simple, it's safe, it's smart. And of course, Black Lives Matter and justice for everybody that these cops keep killing. They're out of control. They're monsters. Take care and I will see you, my friend.